Why an IUL, Index Universal Life, is the perfect college savings plan. Get ready. In this episode, I'm going to explain why it's far superior to a 529 college savings plan. It has more flexibility. It's tax-free regardless of how you use the money. So get ready to gain insights into what you can do far better for your children or grandchildren than putting money into a 529 plan that is tax advantaged. You're going to actually have way more advantages using an IUL. So I'm Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower what I call their authentic wealth. My favorite financial vehicle, without question, if you've watched very many of my educational episodes on this channel, is a properly structured, max-funded, indexed universal life. If it's structured correctly and funded properly, it is deemed what I call a laser fund, which is the title of my most recent best-selling book, book number 11. It's been flying off of our warehouse shelves. It retails on Amazon for anywhere from $20 up to $70. I'll gift you a copy free. Stay to the end of the episode and I'll show you how to claim your free copy. Now, let's just talk about this goal and objective of college funding. You know, if we want to help out our kids and grandkids with their college education, that's great. If you watch some of my entitlement abolition episodes, my wife and I, we have 6 children, and now we have 20 grandchildren. And we never led any of our children to believe that we would just dump in their lap money for college, okay? We gave our children equal opportunities, not equal distribution. And what I mean by that is I wanted them to have skin in the game rather than just thinking they were entitled to a college education. And so it came from my upbringing and my wife's upbringing. When I was young, I never expected my parents to pay for my college. I knew they couldn't afford it. My wife, the same thing, okay? So I got several scholarships, as did my wife. And even though it didn't cover everything, I worked 30 hours a week at Kentucky Fried Chicken while I was in college. And I actually had way better study habits than many of my friends whose parents were just shelling it out. So I've never really been a believer in just paying for their college, because a lot of my friends whose parents were paying for their college, they were goofing off. I had way better study habits, and same thing, my wife worked at a bookstore 30 hours a week, and she worked her way through college. Our parents couldn't afford it, and we didn't expect them to. And so when we raised our 6 children, we didn't want any of them to just think that we would just shell out money for their college. We gave them equal opportunities, meaning we had the money, but see, they had to have skin in the game. They had to get good grades, and if they got a scholarship, we might match it. Or if they needed to borrow money, rather than borrow a student loan, they could borrow from us. The family bank is what we call it. And they can borrow that money, and then once they graduated and they started making money, they would pay the loan back with a nominal interest rate into the perpetual family education fund that will go on for generations. But they had to be responsible and accountable. And if they couldn't pay back with cash, they would paint, they would shampoo carpets, they would mow lawns, and they all took a great deal of pride in paying for their education. So you can watch the full ways that we do that on this channel. Just Google entitlement abolition and the ways that we operated our family bank. But going back to IUL, this is where we accumulate the money to have that family bank. But even if you want to pay for some of your kids and grandkids' college education, don't do it in a traditional 529 plan. Do it in an IUL. Here's why. A properly structured max-funded IUL is like the dream solution to many financial goals. A lot of people use it for retirement planning because it knocks the socks off of IRAs and 401ks and what have you. It usually generates double to triple the net spendable income, and it's totally tax-free. But people use it for working capital for their businesses, real estate management, and general tax reduction. And school teachers and police officers and firefighters use it to maximize their pension benefits and what have you. But let's look at this college savings goal. If we focus on that, many times people come to me and they say, Doug, we're socking away $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year for the next 11 years for 2 of our grandkids. Okay, well, great. Okay, that's $132,000 that you're going to be putting into a 529 plan, and it actually doesn't have that much flexibility. They go, well, what do you mean? Well, what if your grandchildren go to college and they're really good students and they get a scholarship and they don't need the money? They don't need any of this money in the 529 plan for college, but they would still like to use it for a down payment on their first house or to start a business. Well, if they pull it out of a 529 plan and if it's not used for their college education, then it's now taxable. You just lost all the tax benefits. Why would you do that? And what if you happen to die sometime in the next 11 years? They're only going to have whatever you accumulated up until that point. What if you set up a plan and you put $1,000 a month into a max funded IUL policy? Well, by doing that, $132,000, the minimum death benefit would be probably $250,000 to $500,000. And that's being paid for with a minuscule portion of money that would otherwise go out the window in unnecessary tax if you did it in a normal, account that's going to be taxed someday. And so it would blossom and transfer tax-free because it's a death benefit. So let me just make it clear. If you were to reposition that $1,000 a month that you're putting into 529 plans into an IUL, you can still earmark it for college, but if they don't need it, they don't have to use it for college. It's still tax-free. If they use it for a down payment on a home or to start a business, it's still tax-free. And if you happen to die anytime, it's going to self-fund. It's going to blossom to $250,000, $500,000, whatever you choose, totally income tax-free if you're not around to keep funding it. And people say, well, how much does that cost? And I go, well, nothing's free, but it doesn't cost you anything. It's being paid for with a minuscule portion of money that would otherwise go out the window in unnecessary tax if you put that money in a normal taxed as earned investment. So why mess around with all the strings attached with qualified accounts in the Internal Revenue Code when you can have it be totally tax-free under the Internal Revenue Code by not having it be like a 529 plan, just like you don't want it to be a 401k or an IRA. They all have strings attached, even Roths do. So this is a far better way, in my opinion, if you're saving money for your kids and grandkids because it's tax-free, it's flexible, you can access the money. If you happen to pass away, it's self-completing. Are you getting it? So if you want to learn more, I would strongly recommend you claim a free copy of my most recent best-selling book, The Laser Fund. You can click on the link below or go to laserfund.com. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that, and I'll pay for the book. And I'll fire out a hard copy to you immediately. Now, if you go on Amazon, it's $20 up to $70. If you do that, thank you, but I'll gift it to you free. And so when you're in there claiming your free copy, if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, check out those audio and video options and formats. But if you want to learn more, register for a free educational webinar that we do on a regular basis. But if you want to actually talk to an IUL professional, someone who has been certified by us, because frankly, over 99% of IUL agents in America do not know how to structure IUL correctly to perform as a superior savings capital accumulation tool, such as college funding or retirement or anything, okay? And so you can schedule an appointment to talk to a certified professional so that you can see how these strategies may apply in your particular set of circumstances.